Generating delivery notes. There's at least two reasons for generating a delivery note. Firstly, to produce a printed document that can be sent with the goods, and then this can be signed by the recipient to say that the goods have been received and in good order, and then the sheet returned back to HQ and uploaded onto the system. And the second reason is to update the system to say that an item or items have been dispatched and on what date and where they were dispatched to. So to create a new delivery note, you can either go through the menu system by clicking Departments, Production, Delivery Collection Notes, Add New Delivery Note. Or if you're on the store's dashboard screen, you can click the shortcut key, Generate Delivery Note. Now, before we go ahead and create a delivery note, I just want to show you the item in the contract and where it is currently in the storage dispatch area. So if I go and view a contract, and if we look at this item here, so we've got two Durham frames that we've already indicated are in our storage loading area, ready for dispatch, and they're ready and wrapped. And we can double check that by going issue from storage dispatch, and we'll see that the doors are listed there in aisle E. So to create a new delivery note for that item, we say generate delivery note. We need to put in the contract number. The system will then load the relevant contract. It will give it the next sequential delivery note number. We then got an option to give it our own docket reference if we want to. It can be left blank if you don't use that system. By default, it's going to deliver it to the site address of the contract, but this can be changed if you want to. Just click Change Delivery Address, and then you've got the option to overtype that or add additional notes to that. We then need to say the delivery method, and this is a drop-down list that's set in your company classifications, and that different methods can be added to this. So we're going to say that it's going to be our van or lorry. The run number really is only applicable if you've got several vans or going to similar destinations and you want to say it's on run number 2 rather than run 1. But again, just leave it blank if it's not applicable. And then we need to say the delivery reason. So is it a standard delivery? Was it a shortage, replacement? Collections will come on to in a different video. Again, these are set up in your company classification, so these are governed by your system administrator. So I'm just going to say it's because it's a shortage. Additional notes, that will be printed onto the delivery note, but again, bear in mind it will be seen by the recipient as well. So I'm just going to put need to doors. And then obviously the delivery date, the date that we want this to go. So we're going to say, well, we're going to deliver it today. Below that, we've got an area for documents. Now you could upload any relevant documents at this stage that relate to the items, but more commonly, you'll be using this when you come to upload the signed delivery document, which we'll look at further on in this video. So now we need to say, what items are we going to deliver? So we could get a new line within here, Control A. So we can either enter in the item, followed that's actually in the contract, hit the tab key, and the system will automatically load that. It will also note the loading area that it's in at the moment. We can add items in just from the material library. If I just put MDF 18, it tells me that it's not a recognized works order or bill item, which is fair enough. So it'll then go to the material library and it will allow me to select some material. So let's say we want to send 2 sheets of MDF with that. We've also got an area for free text. So if you haven't got a code, I just want to say I'm sending a marble top. We can just type that in, so it doesn't have to link to the contract. It doesn't have to link to the material library. It can just be a one-off item that you're typing in there. Now, the other thing I just want to show you is this show included components. You probably won't use that much, but that's designed that if we have an item that's got items within it, so if I put in VO40-1, a sanitizing station area to the entrance area, if I was to click that, it would pull out all the component items that were embedded within that. Now, if I don't want those, I can just remove them by, say, remove selected items from the list. I'll remove that as well. So once we've created our delivery note, we can either complete it later and it'll be on the list, so we can then go and continue it. So if I just click complete later, it will now tell me that there's 3 dispatch notes not yet been indicated as dispatched. So if we look at that one there, so there's our delivery note that we were creating. I can then just say amend selected note and then carry on. So once we've completed that, we can then issue and print the note. So I will preview on screen. I may need to change my screen share. So we can see that the delivery note is then printed obviously onto your headed paper. We have the delivery note number with a scannable code, and then each item that's on the delivery note. That code there is referenced to the actual item, and then that's a code that could be scanned to say that you've dispatched it from a particular area. So if we just change the screen share back. So once that's printed, we can see that it's been printed, and then we can then dispatch the items from there. So it might be that this sheet is set up and left in the loading bay, ready for when the lorry is ready to take the item. So once that's ready to happen, we can then recall the loading sheet and then indicate the fact that it has now been dispatched. But prior to that, let's say we realize we've missed something off, we will need to change something. So if we just go to our listing and find the printed dispatch note and say amend selected note, just requires the passcode of BOSS to change that, highlighting the fact that the document has already been printed. So you need to retrieve that and then destroy that, because obviously you're going to generate a new printed document. Now you'll notice immediately here it's given it R1. So again, it helps avoid any confusion if there's 2 sheets floating around the company. One's got the R1, so therefore that is the current loading sheet, picking sheet, rather than the one preceding it. So once we've made any changes to that, we then just issue and print the note. Print that out. Now that's ready to be loaded. So once we're ready to load that onto the wagon, or it has been loaded onto the wagon and they've brought a copy of the sheet back to you, we can then indicate that. Just minimize that. So let me just, even though we've generated a dispatch sheet, the contract still hasn't been indicated that it has been dispatched. So if we go and look at that, you can see here now it's still sitting in our storage loading area. So to get that to say that that's being dispatched, we simply go to issue from storage dispatch. And we can see here, there's the items in aisle E. So we can then take our stock scanner, scan the sheet number, which will be at the top of the page. So we scan that. It automatically knows now it's delivery note number 56. And then we scan the item that we're dispatching. So it's going to be 2 of the Dawn frame. So you can see that it's now loaded that. And then I can just say issued items, or to save me grabbing the mouse and clicking that, whilst I've scanned the item, if you notice on the loading sheet, we've got a little QR code there that we could scan, and that has the same effect as clicking the issue item. So if I just scan that, you'll see that that's gone, and now it's refreshed this list, and you'll see that the item is no longer showing in aisle E. Now, if I come back and have a look at the contract, you'll now see that those have been classed as dispatched, and it's also put the dispatch note number on there as well. So contracts are now aware of the fact that the item's been loaded onto the wagon and shipped off to the client. So once the goods have gone, the delivery drivers will hopefully bring back the delivery note. So we just need to go to the system, say that we have dispatched it. So that now tells me that that note has been dispatched. But then when the delivery note comes back, I can double click on that and upload the signed document. So if we find the delivery note, so this is the note, came back, we've scanned it onto the system. I can then import it into the system. That means then I can just double click on that at any time and view the delivery note, see who signed for it and when, any comments that were made. And I've got the facility to download it or to print a copy of it as well. So it doesn't matter if the delivery note, the original delivery note, gets destroyed because you've now uploaded it onto the system. I then click finished, and then I can now say that the item has been delivered to the client. Click finished, and there we are. So now there's only 2 dispatch notes, so that one now has disappeared off our list. If we need to revisit that, to look at it at any time, we can simply go to Departments, Production, Delivery Collection Notes, and List Delivery Notes, and I can locate it by any of these criteria. So if I think, well, I don't know what the delivery note number was, but I know it was contract 135, just type in 135, click search, and it will bring up any delivery notes. I can then double click on it, view it, and as we saw earlier, we can actually view the signed note as well. And that's all there is to generating and using your delivery notes.